Hey everyone, this is going to be a track walk of Summit Point Raceway in the 911 GT3 Cup car. First I'm going to play the lap in full in cockpit view, and then I will do it in chase view, and then we'll do some track analysis. And now here is the chase view. Alright, so as a reference, that lap was a 109.7. We have a fairly long straight here, so you want to make sure that your last corner exit was good. So we're just gonna keep it straight down here and stay to the left. So my brake marker here is right around the 3.5 mark. That is about where you want to reach your peak brake pressure. The Cup car in general has fairly early braking points. It has no ABS, no traction control. You have to be super careful with your inputs relative to some of the other cars like the GT4. It's a very slippery car. Now I will say I do go in slightly hot here, so my line is a little off. You should be turning in a little to the left of where I am right now. You want to open up the corner as much as possible. And because I was coming in a little hot, I started turning in a little bit early towards the corner, just because if you see the track, I would have a little more runoff in case I needed the room to brake. But I was able to make the apex. I missed it by a little bit because I was a little further deep, but you just trail brake through the corner. You don't want to necessarily hit that curbing because it can bounce the car a little bit. But just get as close to it as you can, and then get on the throttle after that as soon as you can. You're going to be traction limited here, so I don't know any car that you can necessarily go full throttle in, but you want to keep giving it as much gas as possible and just make a nice arc out of the corner onto the next straight. So for this corner, I'm trying to reach peak brake pressure right around where this exit road ends over here. My turn-in point is right around where the grass then ends. Then you want to trail it in, and you see where the curbing kind of has a kink. That's pretty much your apex. And then you want your car to essentially be lined up with the curbing after that, and then you get back on gas as soon as hard as you can. And you can run out fairly wide here. You could even get a tire in the dirt. Just make sure that your steering is straight and there's you don't have any inputs there, and you can pretty much just go full throttle from here on out. A quick note. The curbing on the previous turn on the inside, I wouldn't necessarily hit it, because as it puts weight on the outside tires, it can force you to push out wide, but you do definitely want to get as close as you can, and I will say that is a general feature of this track with the curbing. Over here, we're going to bring it back to the left. For this right-hander, you just want to trail the brake in just to keep the nose down and make this corner nice and smooth. And again, don't hit the curbing, just stay as close as you can. Now I will say that depending on how much speed you carry through that corner, you may get back on throttle for a split second here before you then brake going into this corner. Or as you see what I did here, is I carried a decent amount of speed, and then I just stayed on the brakes. I just did not use that much brake pressure just so I could carry more speed going into this corner. Now you want to trail the brake all the way in. There's nice camber on this corner, so the front tires can get really dug in. You have a lot of grip, so you can decelerate a lot through the corner before you finally get on the gas. Make sure you get back on the gas nice and smooth, and don't run out too wide, and bring it over to the left here. And as a reference for when you start braking again, you should see there is an opening in the tire wall, and that's a good place to brake before you trail it into the next right-hander. Just make sure you're as far over to the left so you can open up this right-hander as much as possible, because after this you're pretty much just on the throttle till the last corner of the track. Now again, I wouldn't necessarily hit this curbing, just like a lot of the curves on this track, and then get back on the gas. And again, this is kind of like turn one. You want to make a nice smooth arc. You're going to be traction limited, so you're not going full throttle. But just, be as steady and increase throttle pressure as much as you can. Then let off throttle to put the nose down and hit your second apex over here. Then stay between the middle and the right side of the track to open up the next corner, but you're going to sacrifice this corner and the previous one for your next one, because that's going to lead you on to the back straight. So each one of these corners, you're going to lift to dig the nose in, make the corner, and then stay over to the side, get back on the gas, and then you're going to lift again to put the nose down and keep the corner nice and tight, and then get back on the gas. And again, you're going to lift a little bit to make the turn in, keep the nose down, and then get back on the gas. And again, you want to hug this corner as much as possible. Don't necessarily go up on it, but then straighten out the steering and track all the way out for this back straight. And also this corner back here, again, it's going to have a little kink. That's your apex, and you want to kind of line up the car with the curbing after that, and that's pretty much when you can go back on full throttle using the whole track on the track out. Now, coming into this last corner, you don't really have any brake markers. I try to eyeball it with the start of the pit entry out of the corner of my eye. It's kind of where I start to get on the brakes. So just drop it down one gear here while you're braking and trail it into the corner. You get on the gas a little early here. You can use the curbing if you want to, but you want to try to get on throttle as soon as possible because you have a lot of track out room here. You can even go past the curbing. You can even have a foot in the dirt if you wanted to, and it's okay. But especially in the cup car, because you don't want to watch out wide, get on the gas early and as hard as possible, and use all of the track out. And then you are back onto the front straight. And that is a track walk of Summit Point Raceway in the 911 GT3 Cup car.